Okay, so I just picked up this guitar at Guitar Center the other day. This is a Recording King Dobro. I'm not sure the exact model name. I'll look it up. It's a dog, some kind of dog, or hound dog. I don't know. Maybe it's not called dog. This guitar is very heavy, extremely heavy. It's made of brass. It's got this green paint job, made to look weathered. It has a few issues. The issues are tuning. This is an open C tuning. So when I took this off the wall, I kind of thought, well, I'll use it for like open G, slide, open D, and open C. And so going through the various tunings in the store, I noticed that like when I changed tunings on my other Taylor and Martin guitars, if I change some strings, the other strings to stay in tune. With this one, as I changed, let's say I dropped this one down to C, G, and C, the treble strings would change. And when I tuned up the treble strings, now the bass strings were out of tune. So it was this back and forth. And another thing, so in open C, I have the third on top. And I find when I go to the 12th fret, that third, so that's another E in a C chord, sounds a little, the intonation a little off. The other thing I wanted to do, they said that nobody played this guitar, but my fingers got really dirty. Get all the Jesus Christ. While I'm cleaning this, I'm going to go on the internet and see what the model of this guitar is. Okay, so this is called the Recording King Swamp Dog Metal Resonator Guitar. It has one resonator in here, not a track. Look at this. Alright, if anybody has a clue what's going on, if someone from the company can explain this to me, I'd love to hear it. Alright. I've given up any hope of getting all this off. This is something is going on here. This is coming off the neck. This is not coming off the strings. Yeah, this is on the neck. Did they forget to clean this at the factory? I don't know. So let me use the clean part I have here and see what's going on the body. Oh, here. It's on the strings too. It's a fucking mess. So because of the resonator, I can always tell a string's out of tune, but I can't easily tell which way. Sometimes I think it's flat, and when I tighten it, it gets worse. So the resonator is really throwing off my ability to quickly tell which way to turn the string, which is weird. I mean, I've played a million guitars. I've never had that problem before. Still having tuning issues. In tune up here, out of tune, open. Also, incredible amount of gunk on my hands, no matter how much I clean it. Another thing about this resonator, I don't have any experience playing a resonator guitar, so I don't seem to get much resonance here as I do up here. You can hear that's almost reverb. There's reverb. As opposed to not so much. Hardly any. I don't know if that's the way resonators are, that they just accentuate the treble. Maybe. The actual bridge is right underneath here. And it seems like the E is not set, the skinny E is not set properly. When you get up here, you can really start to hear that reverb kicking. I should say the resonator. Okay. So I just started making up a melody on the second string. It's definitely an intonation issue because you see that sounds nice. Maybe even a little flat. Drop, tiny drop flat. But when it's open, definitely sharp. So this is the second string. Get this one in tune. And now I'll come up to 12th. It's definitely flat. Oddest thing, man. I can't tell when if it's out of tune, if it's sharp or flat. It's bizarre. I mean, I can hear that the E string is too high because it's a third, but everything else is either C's or G's, and it just like all gets lost in the mix. I noticed the D string is a little shaky in the tuning compared to the other ones. I mean, the physical, mechanical gear feels like it doesn't do as much as the others. By the way, while we're on the subject, is open back worm style. That puts us at about 10 to 15 cents sharp now. Which is, the ear can hear more than 5, so it's kind of unacceptable. Too sharp, but actually a little flat up there. Now let's see what this. Yeah, we're up to about 20 cents. So, it's a damn shame. You can hear that. So the dilemma is, do you put it in tune for the open and play up here? Or do you make this in tune? It's flat now, so I'll put it in tune. this resonator is D. I'll show you in a little while. This guitar has such great resonation that when I play other guitars, I had this on the stand as I was doing a lesson on Zoom, and it wasn't the right guitar for the lesson, so I put it on the stand and grabbed my acoustic. Next thing I know, this thing is ringing out. Whenever I play a D chord, really all chords, but especially on a D chord, this thing was just ringing away. It was amazing. Even though this is very, very heavy, it's very comfortable to play. The neck is comparable to my Taylor 316. So it's a little bit wide up here compared to, say, a double L, which is, my Martin is a double L. That's what I got to compare it to. For some finger style stuff, my Martin is very, very comfortable, especially if I'm playing, I know I'm not in the right tuning, but if I'm playing, let's say I'm playing an F chord, and I need D on the second string, it's a lot more comfortable on the double O than it is on the Taylor. But all in all, very comfortable neck, very smooth back here. Well, as I was saying, it's balanced, like it's not bottom heavy or top heavy. Well, it wouldn't be top heavy, but it's not too bad. It sounds great. It sounds fantastic. It's sharp looking. I mean, I don't know how much this lighting does justice, but it's very cool. It's a very cool guitar. Solid brass, as opposed to what, non-solid brass? That's a stupid thing to say. It's got resonation, you can hear. But that damn intonation, I'm gonna get in touch with the company, see what they have to say. Okay, so while I was editing this video, it occurred to me to go on Reddit and ask some of the people in the blues guitars subreddit about the bridge and the tuning problems and if there's anything I could do, because I really do like this guitar and I want to try to find some way to fix it and keep it. I don't want to return it. So what I did here before I started filming, I tuned this guitar to open G because I figure it's a good midpoint between playing in standard tuning and playing in drop C. It also keeps 3 of the strings, 2, 3, and 4, the same as standard. So if I have to compromise, which some of the folks there were saying, that's a good place to compromise it. So it turns out that there's a little, it's called a biscuit, a little round piece. You can see the bridge in there. So this turns, which makes sense. So I don't know if I mentioned this. I called Guitar Center after I bought this guitar and I asked to speak to the repairman, and I told him about the intonation problem, and he said there's nothing he can do about it. And that didn't make sense to me because it seems to me there's always some way to fix it. And looking at it, you can kind of just intuitively see that if you somehow get in there, you should be able to turn the bridge a little bit. And that's what the folks suggested in my research. So I'm going to loosen the strings, and you can see the bridge in there. So the bridge, it's not a compensated bridge. It's a very thin edge that it sits on. Some have 2 pieces, and this one seems to be 1 piece. I'm not sure. The 2 pieces would be 1 piece for these 3 strings and 1 piece for the other 3 strings. Also, what I learned is the resonance, these screws are holding in the cone, and it's possible on some guitars to move the cone and get a different balance of the resonance. On this guitar, mainly the 2 skinny strings are resonant and the others aren't. I don't want to adjust that because I'm actually very happy with that sound. I don't want a fully 6-string resonator sound. I like just having the top ones that add that little extra. So what I'm going to do is loosen the strings. I took some readings So from the 6th string, I got 1 cent flat, 5th string 1 cent flat, 4th string 2 cents flat, and the top 3 are, the 3rd is 4, and these 2 are 5 cents flat. So if I'm understanding this correctly, that means when a string is flat on the bridge, and by the way, I took that by comparing the harmonic to the fretted note. You can hear that's flat. And I have my, it's a little hard to say, I have a chromatic tuner here. So my reasoning, when it's flat, means the string is too long, right? Because you're fretting it. So I should have, what needs to be done, I think, is to move the part of the bridge that holds the skinny strings closer. So make those strings shorter. My logic, I seem to remember from doing my strats and telly, that's what needs to be done. I wanted to do this because I didn't want to put a video against this company saying the guitar is a piece of shit or all this, or not a piece of shit, but because it's not a piece of shit, but saying that there's tuning problems when maybe this is just the way dobros are. It wouldn't be fair to them. And what I've learned is that you can never get a perfectly intonated dobro because of the bridge design. Although I think you can buy an aftermarket bridge. You would replace that saddle with an aftermarket piece that might be adjustable. But that's too much. I don't need to do that. All I want is a compromise. And I didn't want to put a video out that, misstates something against the company that just may not be true. So what I'm going to do is loosen the strings. And I'm going to try to move that biscuit, they're called. Okay, so the strings are pretty loose. I'm going to try to reach in there, grab it, hopefully without any tools. I don't want to leave any marks, but it's very hard. This is welded on. It's hard to get inside here. So I'm going to take a look at it. I'm going to try to push this up. The person who was helping me on Reddit told me there's a lot of trial and error, and that's the way it goes. So let's see what we can do. Maybe I'll try to use my Capo. Push it up. Let's see. And here we go. So it moves. It moved very easily. But now I have to tune it. I have to tune it up, check it, and see. I may have to loosen the strings again. It may be a pain. It may not. But once you get it, you get it. So it may be a pain for a couple minutes. But then your guitar's in tune, and you can spend the next 6 months enjoying it until it's time to readjust. Somebody asked me on Reddit, in the thread, they were like, well, why don't you just return the guitar and get another one? Well, first of all, everybody knows that no two guitars sound the same. I like the overall sound of this guitar. Why would I want to send this one back, and then, I don't know, the other one may sound completely different. If you know anything about playing guitars, no two guitars sound the same. Secondly, it intuitively seems that it's not all that difficult, no matter what the repairman told me. Just by looking at it, you can see that, and logic, it has to be adjustable some way. Another reason is there's always something to be learned by just trying. I'm not going to damage the guitar permanently, so why not try it? You could learn something. Learn how to fix your own stuff and not be dependent on someone else all the other. I'm trying to decide here. Okay. So that's a D. Let me get it back up to D. Actually, let me just do the first string. And that's what we'll do. We'll do the first string and see what difference that makes. Okay, so we're at D. That was 293.7. Look at that. It's close. It's a little sharp still, but it's close. Actually, it has to be moved a little more. It's actually a little sharp now. I can kind of visually see that I pushed it too far. I'm actually going to try to push it back the other way. Oh my god, this thing moves so easily. Yeah, it rotates. It's like a bottle cap. You can actually, I'm seeing, you can kind of visually do it. You can just line it up by eye. How much off 90 degrees you want it. Yeah. not going to return this guitar. This guitar sounds beautiful. Boom, fixed. Slight tilt on the treble strings towards the neck. I said D was pretty resonant. E is also resonant. Right there. Sounds like being inside an oil tanker. You can hear that resonance there in that section. That was very nice. about this guitar. For all its tuning disparities and weirdness, it has the ability to take a capo, a strong capo clamp, without going out of tune. Unlike my Taylor or my Martins, I can pretty much put a capo on and be in tune. I mean, relative. It doesn't change the tune. So it's a pretty nice acoustic sound. Could be useful for double tracking. Put down a regular acoustic and then double it with this one, and this make it pop out a little bit. Look at those grooves. It's a serious pain. The reason it's slower is that I'm pretty sure because of the nut height. It has to be higher because it's going to be used for slide and stuff like that. So you really have to press down this end. The nut is very high. Well, it's because of this thing, you know. You need a high nut to slide. So that's the way it is. It's a compromise. You just gotta work harder. By the way, it took me a long time to get that black stuff off my hands. It's not really fully gone. I still have evidence here from before. Bye.